to understand, that is called decision tree. And the decision tree, so it is one of the most finest classification techniques. And the important things is that we have started understanding the different impurity measures, node impurity measures that we have started. One is called the Gini index, then entropy, then the misclassification error. Okay, today we'll see with some example that how these three different impurity measures can be applied. Okay, for splitting the node. Actually, splitting the node criteria, or sometimes it is known as this is a goodness of fit. Okay, so means goodness of fit of a node. So now there are many measures that can be used to determine this. What is the best way to split the records, and these measures can be defined in terms of the class distribution of the records. Because if you have the two class, and you have to see that how many records belongs to the class 1 and how many records belongs to class 2. So that is, it is called the class distribution of the before and after splitting. So you have to find the impurity measures of the node. I mean, you have the parent node, then you have some descendant, and then I mean, for this splitting the node, whenever you're going to do the splitting, then before splitting and after splitting, then you need to find this class impurity, node impurity measures. So pi of t. So now, if it is written, actually it is a probability. Probability of I given t, it denotes the fraction of records belonging to class I. Okay. Now, or here it is written j. So you can say the pj given t, they denote the fraction of records belonging to class j at a given node t. So that is the meaning. Now, sometimes we can ignore that this reference of the t, and you can simply express the formula in the fraction of p of I. Okay. So now, suppose if you have a two class classifications problem, then the class distribution of any node can be written. If you are going to have the two class classification problem, then what will be the class distribution at any node? That can be written as p0 comma p1. Okay, simply p0 and p1, because c0 for class 0, for this corresponding to c0 you have p0, and c1 for class 1 is p1, where p1 is equal to 1 minus p0. Now, to illustrate the considered the test conditions, suppose this example is there, how to determine the base split. As you can see that the before splitting, so equal number of records are there between these two classes. So class 0 and class 1. There's a gender, is a there's an attribute, then cut type, search size. So these are the different types of attributes are there. Now, you will have to consider the test conditions. So from the following figure. Now, the class distribution before splitting is 0.5, 0.5. As these things are will have this, because the total probability is 1. Okay, probability cannot be greater than 1. Okay, so this total probability is 1. Whereas these two classes having this equal number of records, then the class distribution before splitting, that is p0 is equal to 0.5, and this p1, that is 1 minus p0, that is also 0.5. So now class distribution before splitting is 0.5, because there are an equal number of records from each class. Okay. Now, if we split the data using the gender attribute, as you can see, so if you could just split the data using the that is the gender attribute, then the class distribution of the child nodes are, so these are the child nodes. So now this node will have this, while these two child nodes, that is yes and no, because yes for one class, no for the other class. So now the class distribution of the child nodes are 0.6 and 0.5. Okay, for the yes class, and 0.4, 0.3 respectively. Although the classes are no longer, I mean, are evenly distributed, because for the first class is having the 6 element and the second class 4 element. On the other hand, in the other child, first class will have the 4 elements and second class will have the 6 elements, so that they are not evenly distributed, because the child node will still contain records from both the classes. Okay. Now this splitting on the second attribute, if you see, is a card type that will result in purer partitions. Okay, that is a family, sports, and luxury. So, and for the third attribute also, that you can have these partition. So now the measures here it is there, that is the measures developed for selecting the best split. Now you have to choose that which attribute is going to have the best split. I mean, there is a goodness of splitting criteria. Best split are often based on the degree of impurity of the child nodes. So please remember that whenever I am going to have, that is a goodness of the best split, which is often based on the degree of impurity of the child nodes. The smaller the degree of impurity, the more skewed the class distribution. The smaller the degree of impurity, the more skewed the class distribution. So, for example, a node with a class distribution, suppose for a node with a class distribution is 0, 1, it has got 0 impurity. Whereas a node with uniform class distribution, that is 0.5 and 0.5, that is has the highest impurity. As you can see, this is the need of measures, that a node with a class distribution 0, 1 or 1, 9, okay, it has 0 impurity or low degree of impurity. Whereas a node with uniform class distribution 0.5, 0.5, it has got the highest impurity measure. So now these are various impurity measures that we will apply. For example, Gini index, entropy, and this misclassification error, where C is the number of classes, where you have this I is equal to 1 to C, that is C is the number of classes, and this is 0 log 0 base 2 is equal to 0 in entropy calculations. Okay, whenever you are going to have the entropy, then if you find there is a 0 log 0 base 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so now as you can see, where the P refers the fraction of records, okay, that belong to one of the two classes. Now if you see that okay, finding the best fit, now you have to compute the impurity measures before splitting, as I already told you, and you have to compute the impurity measures after splitting. Then this compute the impurity measures for each child node you have to compute. Then after that, if you have this m child, then you have to compute this what is the impurity measure of the descendant node. You have to compute this weighted impurity of the children. M is the weighted impurity of the children. Then choose the attribute test conditions that produce the highest gain. Now this what is highest gain, that I'll explain to you, or equivalently the lowest impurity measures after this splitting. It means that you have to observe the different measures. So what are the different measures? Entropy, Gini index, and this classification error. So you have to observe all three measures which attain their maximum value when the class distribution is uniform. Whatever measures that you are going to apply, if they attain their maximum value when they will attain their maximum value when the class distribution is uniform. Okay, it means that when P is equal to 0.5, that is called the class distribution is uniform, and the minimum values for the measures are attained. So when you will have the minimum value for all the measures are attained when all the records belong to the same class. It means that when P equals to 0 or it is 1. So now when the measures will have the maximum, when this value, when the Gini index will be maximum, when the entropy measures is maximum, or when the error is maximum, when if the class distributions is uniform, and when the values for all the measures are minimum, when all the records belong to the same class. Okay, and that we'll see that several examples that you can compute for the different impurity measures. Now you have some consistencies of the measures. So suppose if you just compute, suppose these are the example that is there. So now this is this example, that is how to find the Gini index. Okay, now you need to know how to find the Gini index. Now the formula for the Gini index is that that is 1 minus summation of summation of j of p of j given t square. So now as you can see, for this there's a you have the different type of children. Okay, so now node you have three different nodes. Suppose first node is node n1. Now in the node n1, class c1 is equal to 0. I mean class c1 that has got how many records? 0 record. And for the class 2, how many records? 6 record. Okay, now how you are going to find this Gini index? Now the probability of p of c1, okay, that is a 0 by 6. Okay, so now a number of records belongs to this class divided by total number of records, 0 by 6, that is 0. Now probability of c2, that is 6 by 6. Okay, number of records belonging to the class 2 divided by total number of records, that is 1. Now Gini index is equal to 1 minus, that is a 0 by 6 whole square minus 6 by 6 whole square. Okay, that is 1 minus 0 minus 1, that is 1, that is 0. Similarly for C1, you can compute P of C1 means that is a your this how many records belongs to this class, that is a 1 by 6, and this is P by PC2, this is 5 by 6. Now Gini index 1 minus 1 by 6 whole square minus, you can simply use this formula 1 minus 1 by 6 whole square minus 5 by 6 whole square. So it is 0.278. Now for the other case, that is you have 0. I mean that is a 2 by 6 2 by 6. If you have this 2 by 6 whole square minus 4 by 6 square, that is 0.444. Okay, so now I mean these are the formula that we are going to use it. Now this is same things. Now how to measure. So now that is 1 minus for this 2 class problem, that is a Gini index is 0.00 for that. If you have that is a one less value is there, you can simply plug in this formula that you can have it. And if you have the equal number of records, then the Gini index will be 0.5. Okay, these are the things. So now that based on the calculation that node n1 has that for this, if you just consider this is a node n1, this is node n2, and this is node n3, you can find this node n1 has the lowest impurity value, then node followed by node n2, then node n3. So now this despite their consistency, the attribute chosen as these test conditions, it may vary I mean depending upon the choice of the impurity measures. Okay, now next question comes how to determine, I mean to determine how well a test condition performs. Then we need to compare the degree of impurity of the parent node with the degree of impurity of the child node. Okay, now you are going to determine how well a test condition performs. Now you need to compare degree of impurity of the parent node. So now this parent node means there is a before splitting, and degree of impurity of the child node means after splitting. Now the larger their difference, the better the test conditions. So that is called the gain. The larger their difference, the better the test condition. So that is called the gain. So the gain is delta, is called the criterion function. So that can be used to determine the goodness of fit. Okay, so that is why. So this formula, yeah, okay, that you have to compute this impurity measure, finding the best split. I mean finding the best, how to determine the goodness of a split. Okay, now you need to compare the degree of impurity of the parent node before splitting with the degree of impurity of the child nodes after splitting. Now the larger their difference, so that is called the gain. So P minus M, where P is the impurity measure before splitting and M is the impurity measure after splitting. Now compute the impurity measures. Now how do you compute M? That I'll tell you. So now compare impurity measure of each child node. Because if you have the M child, so for M child nodes you have to compute. Then after that you have to compute these impurity measures after all the descendant nodes. So that is called the weighted impurity of children. Now choose the attribute test condition that produce the highest gain. So gain is equal to P minus M. So P is the impurity measure of the parent node minus that is a weighted impurity measure of the child node. Okay. So now this that is a P is the impurity measure of the given node, and so the formula for the M is summation of j is equal to 1 to k n capital N Vj divided by n into I Vj. So you can have this formula here. Okay. So I is equal to 1 to a, I is equal to 1 to k. अभी क्लास चल रहा है थोड़ी देर बाद में. Okay. So I is equal to 1 to k ni by n, okay, into Gini index. So now it means that this capital N or ni is the total number of records of the parent node, and that is k is the number of attribute values, and ni is the number of records associated with the child node. Okay, and this decision tree induction rule or algorithm that we are going to select. Now the test conditions, I mean if the decision tree algorithm choose a test condition which maximizes the gain. So now the maximizes the gain, that is delta. Now since that is parent node is the same for all the test condition, then maximizing the gain is equivalent to minimizing the weighted average impurity measure of the child node. So this formula is called, that is a it is a ni is the number of records at child node I, and n is the number of records at parent node P. Okay, so now you have to choose the attribute that minimizes this weighted average Gini index of the children. So now that is why you can see that this P minus M, it means that you have to choose the attribute test condition that produces this highest gain. So now as the I mean splitting the attribute of the parent node, I mean this is as the impurity measure of the parent node is the same for all test condition, then maximizing the gain is equivalent to minimizing the weighted average impurity measure of the child node. Now the finally, so when the entropy, suppose instead of taking the entropy, instead of taking the impurity measure for Gini index, you are going to use entropy as an impurity measure. Then when the entropy is used as an impurity measure, then this formula, that is gain is equal to P minus N. So it will be the difference in entropy is known as the information gain. So that is a I mean delta info. Okay, that will write. But here for the Gini index, you can find the gain, and whenever you are going to use the entropy as information measures, then it should be considered as a information base. While applying, I mean during testing the conditions, okay, for the goodness of fit, when you are going to use this Gini index, then you can compute the gain. But when you are going to use the entropy as an impurity measure, then you have to compute the information gain. Now there should be there will be a formula for the information gain. Okay, here you can see that is a before splitting you have one condition, then after splitting you have to compute for n1 and n2 for each node you have to compute that is a weighted average. You have to compute this weighted average impurity measures. Now how do you compute it? Okay, that is M11, M12. Then for each node you have to compute the Gini index. If you are applying the Gini index as impurity measure, then after that you have to compute this weighted average. Now we'll see with example, then it will be clear. As you can see, then gain is equal to P minus M1, because as you can see from the two child nodes, one weighted measure will be there, that is M1. That is a gain, because as you are going to use the Gini index, the gain is equal to P minus M1 versus P minus M2 for the other node. Then you have to compare the which node that you need to split. We'll see this example. That is a computing Gini index for a collection of nodes. So it is a weighted average. This is weighted average of the Gini index of the children. And this Gini index is used in decision tree algorithms such as CART, Sprint. So there are a lot of decision tree algorithms there, but we'll use this very simple algorithm. Now here we'll see. Now there is a binary attributes for computing the Gini index. Now we have seen different type of attributes: binary attributes, nominal attribute, and the continuous attributes. Okay. So now for each attribute, how we are going to find the Gini index. Now for the binary attributes, now consider that is a you have this split into two partition. Okay, you have to split into this two partitions. Now suppose there are two ways to split into these data sets. Before splitting, that is this Gini index will be given to you. Okay. Before splitting, the Gini index is 0.5. Suppose if there is a okay, so it is already there before splitting. That is a parent node. That is a Gini index is given 0.486. But if you have this C1 is 0. I mean C1 is 7 and C2 is also 7. It means that Gini index is 0.5. Since there are an equal number of records from both the classes. Now, if the condition is something like that, in the parent node, C1 is 7. For the present moment, you are seeing C1 is 7 and C2 is 5. But if it is not like that, if the table is C1 is 7, C2 is also 7, then Gini index will be 0.5. Okay. Now, if the before splitting the Gini index is given 0.5, it means that there are an equal number of records from both the classes. Now, if attribute A is chosen, suppose if you choose an attribute, okay. Now, if you see that one attribute, so here it is B. Now, attribute B is chosen to split the data. You have to compute this Gini index for node N1 and for node N2. Okay, now the Gini index for node N1 and for node N2, how we are going to compute a Gini of N1. So that is 1 minus, that is 5 by 6 square minus 1 by 6 square, that is 0.278. And Gini index for node N2, it will be 1 minus 2 by 6 square minus 4 by 6 square, that is 0.44. Now these are the Gini index for node N1, for Gini index for node N2. Okay. Now next, what you have to do? You have to compute this weighted average of the Gini index for the descendant nodes. Okay. Now the weighted average kya hoga? That is a weighted Gini of N1 N2 is equal to 6 by 12. Okay. So you just apply the formula. So which formula? This formula that you have to apply. That is a 6 by 12. That is a weighted Gini index. 6 by 12 into 0.78. 278, that there is a Gini index for N1. So why is there is a 6 by 12 that you can easily compute. Okay, that is for N1 node ke liye 5 plus 1, there is a 6 by total number is 12, that is 6 by 12 into for these other nodes, that is a summation of for the other node, that is a 4 plus 2, that is for the N2, 4 plus 2, it is 6 by 12, that is 0.444, that is from, it is coming as a 0.361. So now what will be the gain? Gain will be, that is a, what is the Gini index of the parent node? That is a 0.486 minus, that is a P minus M. What is M? M is this. This is an weighted average impurity measures of the child nodes. So weighted average impurity measure of the child nodes is 0.36. That is 0.125. So that is the gain. Now next, if you have the other nodes is also given, then also you have to use this same formula. So are you understanding this formula or not? How we are calculating? Is it clear or not? So in exam also, I'll give it to you this type of problem in your end semester exam. You have to compute it. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Clear or not? For the binary attributes, hi, I am computing the Gini index. Only table will be given to you. From the table that you have to form everything.
Clear, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
Good, very good. So now only you have to plug in. You have to plug in the data, okay, in your formula. For the Gini index, you have to compute the gain. And whenever, instead of using the Gini index as an impurity measure for a node, so you can, if you apply the entropy, then you have to compute this information gain. Okay, you have to use this information gain. So now next is for this categorical attributes. Now if you have the categorical attributes, then how do you compute this Gini index? Now as you can see that the nominal attributes, it can produce either a binary or the multi-way split. Okay, as you can see in these things, for if you have the card type, then card type you have family car, sports car, luxury. Then if you have two-way split or find the base partition of the value, you have this sports luxury, then you have family, or you have sports and family luxury. Now you have to the computation of Gini index for a binary split. It is similar as shown for determine the binary attribute that we have already seen. Now for the first binary grouping of the card type, that is Gini index sports. For the second one, it will say sport luxury is 0.99, I mean 0.468, and for the Gini index for that is the family, I mean that you have already computed, that is a 1 point, that is like this 1.67. Okay, that is okay. Now this weighted average of the Gini index for the grouping, that it will be equal to that. This is same things that you can apply. If you have these means three things, that is a card type. Okay, that is a 16 by 20. I mean, from where the 0.468 coming? 0.468. How it is coming? Can anyone tell me?
So parent Gini minus the Gini indexes of node 1 and node 2.
Exactly. Okay, it is coming. I mean, if you just use this formula, because as you can see, that is the Gini index of sports and luxury is that we have already, if you can compute it, for it is a 0.4922 if you just compute it. And the Gini index of family, if you can compute it, it should be 0.3750. Now the weighted average of the Gini index for the group is equal to what I should write? What will be the numerator and the denominator? Huh?
Denominator will be 20, sir.
Denominator is 20. Very good. And this numerator?
16.
Sir.
16. Good. Okay. It will be 16 divided by 20 multiplied by 0.4922 plus 4 divided by 20 into 0.3750, which results 0.468. Okay. Similarly, for the second binary grouping of sports and family luxury, if you have, then how it is coming 0.167, that you can use the same thing. Then which one is the best? Which one of these the best split?
Which
Which
is
one
having
of these is
maximum difference, no, sir?
Maximum difference, sir.
no.
The first one.
It will be, this is an 0.
Average.
Yes, you can find the
0.467.
gain. Okay, so you can find the gain. So now the maximizing the gain, that is equivalent to, as I already told you, minimizing this weighted average of the impurity measure. So obviously 0.167, this is second grouping, has a lower Gini index because the corresponding subsets are much more purer. So we'll have to take only this one because they are not going to find out any gain. Okay. So now this is a lower, these impurity measures, that will be this best split that you can take. Because we are doing the multi-way split to the two-way split, or this which one is the best partition of the values. So this way you can compute. Next is this continuous attribute. So now how do you compute the Gini index for the continuous attribute? Okay. Because for the multi-way split, that for this last things that we have already computed here, the Gini index you can compute for every attribute, for the Gini index family, Gini index sports, Gini index things. Okay, and also for this is a actually out of these things is the 0.163 is the minimum. Okay, so multi-way split has this smaller Gini index as compared to the both way split. Now that is a that you can think of it. Okay, there's which split is a most split, because the Gini index is this lesser, so that split that you will have to take. That is this objective of this one categorical attributes. Now see for these continuous attributes. Now how do you compute it? As you can see, you just look at the table first. There is ID, homeowner, there is a marital status, annual income, and the defaulted borrower. So this is a loan borrower, whether the person is this defaulted borrower or not. That so you have to do the binary decision based on some values. Okay. Now you have a test condition, that is if annual income is less than or equal to V. Okay, that is V is a candidate key that you have to choose. What will be the value of V? Now these several choices for the splitting value. So you have these several choices, means number of possible splitting value equal to the number of distinct values, and each splitting value has a count matrix associated with it. Now the class counts in each of the partition. If A is less than of V, you can choose A. You can have the annual income. Okay, less than is some value that we have to choose to split the training records for the loan default classification problem. So now A is less than is equal to V, or you can have A is less than is equal to V, or you can have A is greater than is equal to V. Now simple method to choose best V. How we are going to find the best V? For each V, you have to scan the database to gather count matrix and compute its Gini index. And it is a computationally inefficient, because if you have to choose, do these things, so means why it is inefficient, I will explain to you. Okay. Now this, if your annual income is greater than is equal to, suppose randomly you are going to choose, it is less than is equal to 80, and or is greater than is $80 or 80K. Now the defaulted borrower for these things is 0, and yes, defaulted no is 3, and this is a count matrix, and this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, as you can see. in this diagram, and for these things 3 you can also see yes and no, both are the equal number of things. Okay, so now it is a very computationally inefficient. Why it is that I'll explain. You know that for this example, these test conditions is your annual income. If it is less than is equal to V, or if it is less than of V, that is used to split the training records for the loan default classifications problem. Where if you use the any brute force method, because if you use a brute force method for finding the V, is to consider the that for every value of the attribute in the in records as a can be considered a candidate split positions. I mean, you'll have to use a brute force method which is not suitable because it takes time to choose the candidates split positions, because you do not know from which position that this node has to, I mean, from which node that you'll have to take these splitting conditions. Okay, and in this case, what you have to do, if you then compute the Gini index, or for each candidate V, now this data set has to be scanned once and they count the number of records. If you do these things, and then annual income is less than or greater than of V. Now, if you just compute the Gini index for each candidate and choose the one that gives the lowest value, but this approach is computationally expensive because it requires order of n operations to compute the Gini index at each candidate split position. And if there are n candidates, suppose if there are n candidates or n records, then the overall computational complexity will be order of n square. Now, to reduce the complexity, then these training records, what we are going to do, the training records are going to be sorted based on the annual income. Okay, so that is why it is inefficient, because it is a computationally inefficient, because you are going to have the repetition of the work, and it takes, and in this overall complexity is order of n square, because every time you have to compare with each and every element to choose the lowest value. Now, to reduce the computational complexity, the training records are sorted based on their annual income. Okay, then if you just sort it, then the computational complexity will be order of n log n. Now, these candidate split positions are then identified by taking the midpoints between two adjacent sorted values. Now, for efficient computation for each attribute, you have to sort the attributes on values. Now you have to linearly scan these values, and each time you have to update the count matrix and compute the Gini index. Now choose the split position that has the least Gini index. That's it. So now these are these things you have to see. That is a means whatever income, annual income are there, that you have to just sort it. I mean, do in a increasing order. That is a sorted value. Now you have to choose this split position. So how do you choose this? That is V. That is you have to candidate. These candidate split positions are identified by taking I mean the midpoints between two adjacent sorted value. 55, 65. You have this 70, 72. Okay, so yeah, you have to choose this midpoint. Okay, so means which one is the midpoint between two adjacent sorted values. So yeah, from the adjacent sorted values that you have to choose this midpoints. So however, so unlike this brute force approach, so you don't have to examine all in records. So whatever the in the brute force method that you have applied, so you do not have to examine all in records while evaluating the Gini index of a candidate split positions. Now for the first candidate, suppose V is 55. Okay, then you please see for the V is equal to 55, that whenever you're going to choose, okay, this none of the records has annual income less than of 55k from the table. Okay, so none of the, because it starts with 60. So now the none of the records has annual income which is less than a 55 K. Now, as a result, the Gini index for a dependent node with annual income is less than 55 is 0. Okay. On the other hand, the number of records with annual income greater than or equal to 55K is 3 for class S. Okay. And it's 7 for class No, respectively. That you can check it in these things. So thus you can find this Gini index that you have to compute the Gini index for these things, because it is here you can see that is only the number of records with annual income greater than or equal to 55 is 3, as you can see. Because less than is equal to that you cannot consider, because there is no annual income is there which is less than 55K. So that is 0 for both the classes. Now it's 3 for the S class and for 7 for this other class. Then you can compute the Gini index. Now the overall Gini index for the candidate split position is equal to, it will be 0.420. It will be 0 into 0 plus 1 into 0.420, that is 0.420. Now for the second candidate, V is equal to 65. Okay, but V is equal to 65, you can determine the class distributions by updating the distribution of the previous candidate. Okay, now this new distribution that is obtained by examining the class level of the record with the lowest income, that is a 60K. Okay, now since the you can see that is a because is a list is your 60K. Now the class level for the record is No. Now the count for the class No, it is increased from 0 to 1. Okay, then then actually it is for the annual income which is less than of 65K. Now and it is decreased from 7 to 6 as for annual income is greater than 65K. Now you have to check for this each and every classes. You have to just count it. You just see the tabulated table is there. From the table you just put the, this is a count matrix. Sir. In the count matrix you need to just fill it up. So how many counts are there, which how many low default rates are there, or how many persons that is belongs to the yes class and no class, provided the condition is less than 65K salary and get the 65. You just fill them up all these things, then you compute it, this Gini index. Okay, so this Gini index is called this weighted average Gini index. Now out of this weighted average Gini index that we have already computed for the positions, that is V is equal to 55K, 65K, 72K, 87K, 92K, 110K. Okay, so now these split positions that you are going to do, this is called the candidate split position, that is V. That can be identified by taking the midpoints between two adjacent sorted values. Okay, now that you can say that is this 0.300, that is a base split that you can have, because which is producing this less Gini index. Okay, and then you can start with these things. So this approach allows you to reduce the number of candidate split positions from this 11 to 2. Okay, that you can check it. So this is the very important things, and so only you need to fill it up the count matrix, and for each step that you have to compute this Gini index. That's it. Next is called this impurity measures, that is the entropy. So same formula, entropy is minus P J given T, or you can have Pi given T log of PIT, where PIT is the relative frequency of class J at given T. Now the maximum when records are equally distributed among all classes implying the list information, and if it is minimum when all records belong to one class. Okay. Now entropy based computations are quite similar to the Gini index computation. Now as you can see, this is the same table that we are going to use. As a probability of C1 is 0 by 6, P2 is this 6 by 6. Now entropy is that you can find minus of this is an P of C1 into log 0, because this is a log of P of C1, that is a 0, that is 1 minus log 1. So log 1 is 0, that is minus 0 is 0. Similarly, for this entropy for PC1 1 by 6 PC2, you can just simply use this formula, then you can get this answer accordingly. Okay, then this way. Now for this entropy, as I already told you, information gain that is being used. So in the previous case, so you are using this is a gain. Now here it is a gain split. Okay, now the gain split, it is a entropy P. So earlier we are using this parent node impurity measure as Gini index, but here you are going to use this parent node entropy minus the I is equal to 1 to k ni by n entropy I. So now here parent node P is the split into k partition and ni is the number of records in partition n. Now choose this best split that achieves the most reductions between maximizing the gain. Okay, then this information gain that you are going to use here, that is used in ID3 and C4.5 decision tree algorithm. Okay, so mostly this is this information gain that is used in ID3 and C4.5 decision tree algorithm. So now if you have this problem with large number of partitions, then node impurity measures is tend to prefer split that results in large number of partition. Okay, and this, as you can see, the customer ID has the highest information gain because this entropy for all children is 0. Now next is called the gain ratio. How do you find this gain ratio? That is a impurity measure such as entropy and Gini index that is used to favor attributes which are the large number of values. Okay, and we have seen there is a important things is called this. There are two strategy that we can use is, so first strategy is to restrict the stress condition to binary split only. Okay, and this strategy is employed by decision tree algorithm such as CRT. Now another strategy that is used to modify the splitting criteria. Okay, and which is used to take into account the number of outcomes that have been produced. So it can be used for the C4.5 decision tree, because there is a ID3 C4.5 card, so all the algorithms, so I'll discuss. Okay, so now the gain ratio is formula is gain split divided by this split information. Now split information, actually it is a summation of I is equal to 1 to k, summation I is equal to 1 to k ni by n. So ni by n into log of ni by n. Okay, so now gain ratio sometimes will be asked to you, and it is used in C4.5 algorithm, because every decision you have to find the different decision tree algorithm, and different decision tree algorithm, different impurity measures are used. Okay, so if you are going to use this C4.5, then you have to go for this gain ratio. Now the gain ratio is equal to gain split divided by there's a splitting the information. So now where there's a k is this total number of split, and if each attribute value has the same number of records, then for all I there's a probability of vi is equal to 1 by k, and this split information will equal to log k by 2. Okay, I mean it will help you that or it suggests you if an attribute produces a large number of splits, then its split informations will also be large, and then it turns reduce the gain ratio. So now you have to adjust the information gain by the entropy of partitioning this split information. So higher entropy partitioning is penalized. Okay, then it is used in C4.5, and it is designed to overcome the disadvantage of the information gain. So as you can see, you can have this is a card type. The same problem that you can find. Only you just if the same problem is given, and if I ask you in exam to find the gain ratio or information gain or gain based on this impurity measure, then you have to compute. Next is called the last one is called the error. So error का formula already दिया हुआ है. That is error is 1 minus, there is a maximum of pi given t. For this maximum 1 minus 1 by nc. When the records are equally distributed among all classes, it implies the least interesting information. And if it is 0, then all the records belong to one class. Same table, only you just plug in it. Okay, with this formula, then you can compute it. So these are two class classifications problems that you can find. That is this table is already given to you, and you have to compute that it's this figure. It compares the values of the impurity measures for binary classifications problem. Now the P refers to the fraction of record. P refers to the fraction of records which belong to one of the two classes. Okay, and you can observe that from this graph that all three measures it attain their maximum value when the class distribution is uniform. From these three measures attain their maximum value when the class distribution is uniform. Means P is equal to 0.5, and the minimum value for the measures are attained when all records belong to the same class. So what does it mean? Records belong to the same class means when P equals to 0 or 1. Okay, so that is this thing. So now misclassification error versus Gini index. So you can compute it by yourself. Okay, and you can see the which impurity measures are good. So now Gini improves, but error remains the same. You can just check it. Then misclassification error for all three classes that you can see. Now the decision tree based classification, it has got some advantage. That is inexpensive to construct, extremely fast for classifying the unknown records, easy to interpret for small size tree. Okay, and it is and very robust to noise detection, and especially when the methods to avoid the overfitting problems. Disadvantage is that there is a space of the possible decision tree is exponentially large because the greedy approach sometimes are unable to find the base tree. Okay, and it does not take into account the interaction between the attributes. Now each decision boundary involves only a single attribute. So these are the things you can just use it. It is just a program. That is if you just add a noise in this case, then attribute then how it looks like. Okay, and if you are going to compute it, both positive classes generated from the skewed question syntax, and it is just a program. So that's all for these things. So this is just an introduction part, and this is very important things, and you can find different decision tree algorithm and CART ID3 C4.5. So mostly these three algorithms are mostly used. Okay, so based on this is your criterion, which criterion function that you are going to choose, that is we'll see. So tomorrow I'll take one class from 8 to 9, and there we'll see some more examples, and you have to compute it. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in today's example, the attributes were continuous. How did you decide the annual income to be the first attribute for the decision tree?
For these things,
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, here why did you consider the annual income to be the first attribute for splitting?
no, actually, here this is some numeric values are there. Okay, because it is a continuous attribute. What is the continuous attributes? I already explained. Because you need to do some comparisons. Okay, if you see these things, okay, I'll just tell you. Here, this is a continuous attribute. So continuous attribute that if you do not have any numerical values, then how do you compare? Okay, so that's why it is called this continuous. Continuous means you have to have some range. So this salary is not a fixed. This salary, whenever I'm saying, so he has got a salary within the range from 10K to 25K. So it is a continuous attribute. Okay, so it may be 10K, it may be 25K, it may be in between 10K and 25K. So it is a continuous. You have a range. When the range is given, then it may within the range you may have the infinite values. Because in the range of 0 and 1, you will have the infinite numbers. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is why it is called in this. Whenever you encounter this type of situation, then how do you do it? So that is why this base split that you have to choose. So that's why we have used this way. That's why we have taken this annual income, because as it is a continuous attribute. Okay, and because this, I mean, this salary is varying. Okay. So I
Sir,
think
if there are,
bolo.
yes, sir. If there will be more than one contiguous attribute, sir, what will we do then?
Yes, then if you have this more than one continuous attribute, then you will have to go for one by one. Then obviously your tree will be very large. I mean, this is if you actually you have to have one search space. So your search space will be extremely huge. So that is the drawback of this thing. Okay, because you have to search it that which item you have. First, you have to take this one attributes, then next attribute that you have to choose. It based on the problem statement that you are going to have. Okay.
Sir, this is all about best split, no, sir?
This is all about the best split. Exactly.
Sir, this best split is suitable for other decision trees also, sir. Like the same strategy can be applying on
Same
random decision,
Yes.
random forest, other classification techniques, no, sir?
Random forest you can use it because actually those classification are called the ensemble classes. Okay, ensembling classes, bagging, boosting, random forest all comes under. Obviously, you can use the Gini index. So Gini index is the best impurity measures that the people are using. Okay, and I mean it depends that what type of problems. I mean a problem statement that you're having. Sometimes the entropy is better than Gini index. Okay. But the base split that obviously you have to choose. So that's why it is called this. There is a splitting goodness of split. The test condition that you will have to choose. Okay, and the base criterion that can be used to determine the goodness of feast. This is the goodness of a split. Because in statistics, so there's a goodness of fitting. Then here is a goodness of split.
Sir, actually, what is this overfitting and underfitting, sir? I have a doubt in like.
Yes, overfitting means underfitting in a one line. I can say that if you have some data, okay, and there is a important thing is called the bias and variance. Okay, bias and variance. When the bias is less, variance is low. Bias is low, variance is large, then it is an underfitting. Bias is large, variance is low, this is an overfitting. There is a trade-off. There is a trade-off between this bias variance. So I will explain to you. Probably I was expecting this question. I will explain to you in the next class. Probably if I get time. There's a bias variance trade-off. Okay. So how do you handle this type of problem that is called the overfitting and underfitting? Overfitting can be due to some pressure of noise. There's more overfitting. So very interesting important things. Concept. So obviously, I take class for 100 things because there you will have to know this is, you can have the training error, or you can have this generalization error, all the things. So model overfitting is very important thing. So overfitting can be occurred because of presence of noise, some lack of representative of samples. Okay, all sort of things that you can find. Okay, and how do we estimate these? I mean the error. Okay, so I'll take probably tomorrow or this day after tomorrow. I mean this Monday that I'll take on class surely, because as you're learning the machine learning, you need to know all these things. Okay, bias variance trade-off. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So
Sir?
I'll class. Yes.
The statement you made, Gini index is inefficient, sir. That holds when we have a multiple, means more than one contiguous attributes, right, sir?
More than one continuous active, not contiguous, continuous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, is it true?
No, you can apply Gini index, na. So it based on the problem statement, because it based on this statement that you are going to have. If you have this, mostly it is given that only one continuous attribute is enough to take a particular decisions. Because if it is not enough, then you need to have some other continuous attribute. Because you need to find, you need to classify it, na? You need to classify. Suppose if the one age is there, age is given to you. Because you have the homeowner, then what is the age of the homeowner? Then you'll have to choose which one is the most important, whether age of the homeowner or this annual income of the homeowner. Which attribute you are going to choose? So which will have the more variations? So you will have the you will have the two different decision tree. You will have the two different decision tree considering these two different continuous attributes. First one is the annual income, or second one you will have this age. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tomorrow we'll meet at 8 o'clock. Then we will have to solve some problems. So from the book, I have chosen some problems. You have to solve it. Okay. Thank you.